Welcome friends. We are discussing the control functions in production management. In previous sessions, we have discussed about the role and functions to be performed by a production manager or operation manager. We have also discussed about the inventory management, purpose of keeping inventory, purpose of keeping safety stock. We have also discussed about the economic order quantity model, which is also known as fixed order quantity model. We have also established the formula for the economic order quantity, and with the help of a simple example, we have tried to explain the calculation of economic order quantity and reorder quantity. ABC inventory control is a very important and simple technique of controlling or managing the inventory. Maintenance of inventory through counting, placing order, receiving stock and so on take personal time and cost and money. Since these resources are available in limited quantity and limited capacity, so it is necessary to use the available resources for controlling the inventory in best possible way. Any inventory system must specify when an order is to be placed for an item and how many units are required to be ordered. Most inventory control situations involve so many items that it is not practical to model and give treatment to each item. To get around this problem, the ABC classification scheme divides inventory into three groups. First one is A group, which is known as high value. B is moderate value and C is low value. Uses is a measure of importance. An item low in cost but in high volume can be more important than a high cost item with a low volume. Owing to large number of materials, when production at many manufacturing plants, needs of classifying the material arises. This can be achieved on the basis of annual uses. There are many schemes for classifying the scheme, and among them one such scheme is ABC method. It is based on the idea that only a small percentage of material represent the majority of inventory value. If the classification of item in inventory is listed on the basis of annual uses, the list shows that a small number of items account for a large users value and large number of items accounts for a small users value. With the help of this table, you just see we have given the item number on the left side column and their annual uses we have given in the middle, and the percentage of that we have given on the right side, and you will find that the total is about 2,33,450 and the item 22, the value is 95,000. This constitute total 40% of total value of the money. while in case of item 41, it constitutes only 0.1%. ABC classification or ABC approach divides this list into three categories. A item A constitute roughly the top 15% of the items. B items next 35%, while C constitute the last 50%. From the observation of the table, it appears that the list in table may be meaningful group with A including 20%, B including 30%, and the C including 50%. Now these points show a clear delineation between the sections. You just see, if you talk about the A category, you will find that this is the number of item is 2268, or 20 and 68 is the item number. There are only two items are there, and the total annual usage is 1,70,000, and the percentage of total is 72.9. And if you see category B, 27, 3, 82 number are kept under category B. The total users is 53,000 and total percentage is 22.7. Now if you just analyze the items under category C, the remaining 54, 36, 19, 23, 41 are kept under category C. Total annual users is 10,450, which is only 4.4% of total users. So in this way we have categorized the total items into three categories: A, B, C. The objective of classifying items into groups is to establish the appropriate degree of control over each item. We will show you a figure of ABC classification, and you can make the observation on the basis of that particular figure. The inventory portion and inventory value captured by A category material constitute 20% and 75% respectively. That means by quantity they are lower, but by users value they are at a higher side. Class B of the material represent 30% of the value and 20% of the inventory value. If we talk about the class C, they represent 50% of the inventory value and only inventory material and only 5% of inventory value. On account of above classification, following inference can be made that with the increase in inventory value of a material, extent of analysis also rises. Ordinarily, class A materials would be analyzed extensively as compared to class C of the material. The implementation of this classification requires an intelligent decision and judgment that is based on under-mentioned points. The material critical to production. Large inventories are justified because of the effects of these materials, as they are capable of break down the entire production line. For such materials having the short span of life, small inventories are suitable because these materials may be subject to very fast obsolescence or the deterioration. When we are talking about very large and bulky material, Small inventories are justified for such materials because of the large space occupied by them. Another important type of material category, material with highly erratic lead time. Sometimes they have a very short lead time, sometimes they have a very large lead time. Material having unpredictable demand require large quantities and the order points. There are some valuable materials which are subjected to pilferage. For reducing the risk of loss, small inventories are preferable and they are more appropriate. There are standard packaging, shipping container or vehicle size. If the order size depart from the norm quantities other than the economic order quantity, the quantity are suitable for them. This is a picture of ABC classification, where you will find at the left hand A category, where the number of quantity is less but the value is high. In case of C category, number of quantities are very large while number of users value is very low. Now we are giving you some self-assessment question. Why is it desirable to classify items in a manufacturing unit or in a bank or in a service industry into three groups A, B, C? How you will differentiate between class A, class B and class C in terms of inventory planning? Means how the inventory planning differs in case of class A, in case of class B and in case of class C. List 5 intelligent decisions necessary before implementing ABC classification scheme. That means you have been given a data and you have to carry out the ABC classification system. How you will carry out, what decisions you will make before implementing the ABC classification scheme. Now we will come to the process control and the acceptance sampling. In case of process control, it is concerned with monitoring quality while the product or service is being produced. The main objective of process control plan are to provide timely information on whether the currently produced items are meeting the design specification or to detect the shift in the process that the future products may not meet the specification. There is one term, statistical process control or SPC. It involves testing a random sample of output from a process to determine whether the process is producing items within a selected or pre-selected range or not. All the components having the quality characteristics that are measurable, such as diameter or the weight of a part. Now when we are discussing about the acceptance sampling and the process control, we have to define the attribute and the variable. Attributes are the quality characteristics that are classified as either good or bad, functioning or malfunctioning. For example, a lawn mower either runs or it does not. It attains a certain level of torque and horsepower or it does not. This type of measurement is known as sampling by attributes. Alternatively, a lawn mower torque and the horsepower can be measured as an amount of deviation from the set of standard. This type of measurement is known as measurement by variables. We will discuss some standard approaches for the control sampling of the defects. Measurement by attribute implies that the samples are taken on the basis of single decisions. Item is either good or bad. Since the answer would be yes or no, we can use a simple statistics to create P-chart with upper control limit UCL or lower control limit. We will draw these control limits on graph and then plot the fraction defective of each individual sample tested. Friends, we are discussing how to draw the control limits. There are two types of control limit. One is upper control limit and another one is lower control limit. Here is a mathematical formula or equation that can be used to determine the UCL or LCL. P is the total number of defects from all samples divided by the number of samples multiplied by the number of samples, sample size. Formula is under root of P bracket में 1 minus P bar upon N. If we want to calculate the UCL, it will be P bar plus Z times SP. SP is the standard deviation, where P bar is the fraction defective and SP is the standard deviation, N is the sample size and Z is the number of standard deviation for the specific confidence that we get from the standard table or normalized table. In attribute sampling, we determine whether something is good or bad, fit or does not fit. In case of variable sampling, we measure the actual weight, volume, number of inches or other variable measurement. Based on the measurement, we develop control chart to determine the acceptability or rejection of the process. There are four main issues to address in creating a control chart, that is size of sample, number of sample, frequency of sample and the control limit. First we will take the look at the size of sample. For industrial applications in process control involving the measurement of variable, it is preferable to keep the sample size small. There are two main reasons. First, the sample needs to be taken within reasonable length of the time, otherwise the process might change while the samples are taken. Second, larger the sample, the more it costs to take it. The second is the number of samples. Once the chart has to be set up, each sample taken can be compared to the chart and a decision can be made about whether the process is acceptable or not. Frequency of sample. It depends on the trade-off between the cost of sampling and the benefits of adjusting the system. Usually it is best to start off with frequent sampling of a process and a taper off as a confidence in the process builds. Now, how you will decide the control limit? The standard practice in statistical process control for variable is to set control limits, that is 3 standard deviation or 3 sigma above the mean and 3 deviation below the mean. This implies that 99.7% of the sample means are expected to fall within these control limits. Thus, if one sample means falls outside this wide band, we have a strong evidence the process is out of control. Now, what are the methods for constructing the X bar and R bar chart? For a known value of standard deviation of the process distribution, the chart may be defined as, for UCL, we can draw X double bar plus ZX low control limit or lower control limit is equal to X double bar minus Z times Sx, where Sx is the standard deviation of the sample means. Other parameters are defined. If you just see below, all the definitions or the defined terms are defined in a proper way. Friends, we are discussing how you will construct the X bar chart and R bar chart. Both charts are for the variables, and we have to find out the ways for constructing the chart. An X bar chart is simply a plot of the means of the sample that were taken from the process, whereas R bar chart is a plot of the range within the sample. The range is the difference between the highest and the lowest number in that sample. We can define X bar mathematically as the summation of mean divided by the number of samples or the number of items. Similarly, we can define X double bar summation of X bar divided by the M, where J is the sample number and M is the total number. When we talk about R bar chart, Rj is the difference between the highest and the lowest measurement in the sample, and the R bar is the average of measurement difference for all the samples. Therefore, R bar is the summation of all Rj, Z is equal to 1 to M divided by M. If we want to construct the chart, we have to define upper control limit for X bar chart, lower control limit for X bar chart. Similarly, for R and for upper limit and the lower limit. This picture will give you, at the top we have a X bar chart, while at the bottom it is a R bar chart. Now we will come to the acceptance sampling. In case of acceptance sampling, I would like to say it is performed on the goods that already exist to determine what percentage of products conform to the specification. These products may be items received from another company and evaluated by the receiving department, or they may be the component that have passed through a processing step and are evaluated by the company personnel either in production or late in the warehousing function. In case of acceptance sampling, we need to execute a sampling plan. In this particular session, we would like to illustrate a planning procedure for a single sampling plan, a plan in which The quality is determined from the evaluation of one sample. As an example, a simple or the single sampling plan is defined by N and C, where N is the number of units in the sample and C is the acceptance number. The size of N may vary from 1 up to all the items in the lot from which it is drawn. I would like to clarify about the quantity C. Suppose you have a quantity of items as a 1000. Now you are selecting 10 items as a one sample and you are checking for defects each item. Friends, we are discussing about the acceptance sampling. In that there are two variables. One is n, small n, and another one is a small c. N is the number of units in a sample, while C is the acceptance number. So I just want to clarify about N and C with the help of one simple example. Suppose we have a nut or the bolts and we want to check and we have to decide N and C. The total quantity is about 10,000. If we go for 100% inspection, it is quite not possible. So what we do a acceptance sampling. Under the acceptance sampling, what we do, we first take a decision about the sample size. Since we have a 10,000, we can have the sample size as 100 or we may take a sample size of 10. Since it is a big lot, then also we take a small sample of 10 items. So the N will be equal to 10. Now we will come to the C. Now for 10 items, we will make 100% inspection. Suppose we want to measure the threads or we want to measure the diameter. So in all cases, we are measuring each bolt with our hands. So we decide if the number of defects is less than 2 or 2 or less than 2, then we will accept that sample and we will accept that particular lot. So C is equal to 2. We can increase the number also. We can say 3 also. We can take 4. But it is always better to keep the C at the lowest. Because suppose we are going for a sample and we are getting 3 defects. What you will do? Then we will go for the sequential sampling. We will take another lot, and if another lot the number of defects is less than C, then we will accept the sample as well as the whole lot. In case if we are getting the C greater than 2 or you may say 4, then we will reject the whole sample as well as whole lot. Size of n may vary from 1 to all the items. That means if the number of items is 10,000, n may be 1 or n may be 10,000. The acceptance number C denotes the maximum number of defects item that can be found in the sample before the lot is rejected. Values for N and C are determined by interaction of 4 factors, that is AQL, accepted quality level, alpha that we will discuss, LTPD, lot tolerance percentage defective, and then beta. That we will decide, and on the basis of that we will determine what is the value of N and what is the value of C. All these values also indicate the objective of product producer and its consumer. The objective of any producer is to ensure that the sampling plan has low probability of rejecting the good lot. Lots are defined as a high quality if they contain no more than a specified level of defective and that are known as acceptable quality level or AQL. Lots are defined as a low quality if the percentage of defective is greater than the specified amount and is termed as lot tolerance percentage defective, LTPD. The probability associated with rejecting a high quality lot is denoted by a letter alpha and is termed as producer risk. I am again repeating this sentence. The probability associated with rejecting a high quality lot. The quality of the lot is above accepted level, but due to the selection of wrong lot or wrong sample, it is getting rejected, and that is the producer risk. And that probability is known as alpha and is termed as the producer risk. The probability associated with accepting a low quality lot is denoted by a letter beta known as consumer risk. Every consumer will like to reject that lot that is a low quality lot. But it is always possible that in selection of a sample we take the low quality lot and we accept it under the category of beta, that is called as the consumer risk. The selection of particular values for AQL, that is acceptable quality level, alpha, that is producer risk, LTPD and beta is an economic decision based on a cost trade-off or more typically on a common policy. This figure will give you a picture of acceptance sampling which is drawn on the percentage defective and the chances of acceptance or the probability. On the y-axis it is a chances or the probability of acceptance or rejection, and on the x-axis it is the chances or the percentage defective in a particular lot. And if you see at the top, you will find alpha, which is a producer risk, while in the bottom you will find beta as a consumer risk. In the session we have also studied what is meant by the quality control. It is very essential that while deciding on the control function of a production management, we should also aware about the quality function. The quality control assures the resulting product will perform the intended function, and also it is concerned with the prevention of defect so that items may be made right at the first time. Several characteristics which are to be performed to make the control, just like inspection, just like making the characteristics curves, that we are going to discuss in the coming session. Basically, our effort is to make all the things combined in the control function, so that as a production manager, on the one hand, you should be aware about your responsibility. You should also aware about the importance of inventory control. There are various techniques, just like ABC control, that we are going to discuss. Also about the various C chart, P chart, chart for attribute, chart for variables, that we are going to study. Also, we will also discuss about the purchaser risk and the consumer risk or the producer risk. That will give you the complete picture of control function in case of the production management. Thank you.